Hi everyone, it's Rebecca here, and thanks for joining me for Real Talk with Rebecca. And this week, what a week it's been. I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and share some thoughts. Yesterday, as I was talking with Aaron, a couple of different things, started kind of coming out. And if you know me, you know that I love the water. And there was just kind of this. I actually wrote a song about it. It's called Storm Tossed. And Storm Tossed is some of the lyrics are just that you feel lonely, afraid, and it's because of uncertainty. And that's definitely what we're facing right now. These are uncharted waters. And different people are feeling different things, and that's okay. And it's okay to have your feelings. And, the thought was that if at any point along the way you feel like you're drowning, I want to be able to throw you a lifeline. And, I don't have it all figured out. I've learned some lessons along the way, and I wanted to share a couple of thoughts with you. So, navigating uncertain times and how to not feel like you're drowning and not feel like you are just completely storm tossed. So, the Warren Buffett quote, I'm going to grab it so that I say it correctly. I feel like that is what we're seeing over the last few weeks. The Warren Buffett quote says, "It's only when the tide goes out that you learn who's been swimming naked." The interpretation: things may look good and rosy up to a certain point, but if a company is leveraged too much, expecting a wave to come, but instead the tide goes out, everything will be exposed. And that is not just in business, but also in our personal financials as well. And so I wanted just to talk through a couple of different things that I found to be helpful for me. So one of the things that I've been writing down every day is the question, what can I control? So instead of thinking about all the things I can't control right now, asking myself the question, what can I control? And what can I do? Instead of focusing on the things that I'm not able to do right now, I'm not allowed to do, to be able to honor what it is our governor and our government has asked us, what can I do? So what I can control is my attitude. What can I control? I can control my mindset. And so when I talk about mindset, it's garbage in, garbage out. If I catch myself panicking, it means that I've probably been listening to something for too long that wasn't good for me. And so I would just ask the question, what am I listening to? Who am I listening to? What kind of music am I listening to? What kind of radio talk show hosts am I listening to? What kind of Facebook feed am I starting to kind of unravel in? And so a couple of things that I've done over the last few days is Facebook groups. So I'm a part of a lot of different Facebook groups, and they're amazing. And I've chosen to remove myself from Facebook groups. I've made a list and literally just written out a list of Facebook groups that at one point, maybe a few months ago or whatever, I felt were really good groups to be in. However, I've noticed that over time, especially over the last few weeks, that there's just been a bit of a different tone. And so I've removed myself from the groups, and maybe I'll join them later. But for now, it's just a healthy boundary that I'm putting in place. People. when you're talking to people, there are people that bring you life, people that bring you joy, and then there's energy suckers. And so just being mindful that depending on the types of conversations that you're having, there's nothing wrong with putting boundaries in place about who you're talking to. And if you don't have enough people speaking life over you and encouraging you and talking about hope and talking about the recovery and talking about the future plans that are ahead for us, then I would just encourage you to like our page and stay tuned, because we've got a lot of good news coming. And that's kind of how the whole spring gratitude giveaway came about, was our company profit shares, and I was able to use the profit share that I received this month to be able to share through that spring gratitude giveaway. And so we want to be that channel of hope and joy and positivity. So the next thing is talking about money. And so real talk about money. Dave Ramsey is an incredible resource. If you have not read any of his books or followed his podcast, an incredible man who has a ton of wisdom. And his recommendation is that you should have 3 to 6 months of emergency fund set aside. So 3 to 6 months of what your monthly expenses are should be set aside. And I've actually got a couple of different resources. I'll drop the links in below for my website, where there's some quick and easy ways that you can calculate your net worth and track it consistently, so that you're being purposeful about your awareness of what your net worth is. In studying the wealthiest of the world, on average, they had 7 income streams. And I like the analogy of streams, just to kind of go along with the theme that we have right now for water, right? Is that you've got 7 different income streams that are flowing at all different pace. Sometimes one dries up, but the other one is in full force. And so one of the things that I don't even know how old I would have been. I think I would have been driving. So at least 16, 17 years old. I was working at Muffin Break, and I was babysitting. And then I was also doing part-time admin support for my youth pastor at the time. And so I think from an early age, I was always doing multiple things and essentially, multiple income streams. Then I went on and I worked at Alaska Airlines, and I have such incredible friends and family at Alaska and Horizon Air. And when I worked at Alaska, I would get a bonus if I referred anyone to work at the company. And so I've got friends that still work there to this day. And that extra $200 bonus at the time was incentive for me. So in addition to the hourly pay that I was getting, there was this other income stream of that $200 bonus or whatever it was. Then I'd had this longing for more, and living paycheck to paycheck, or barely paycheck to paycheck. It was, yes, we can save money. However, that just wasn't always enough. And so I wanted to be in a position where I could just rip the lid rather, off of how much I could make. I could only make so much an hour working at what I was working at. And so real estate for me made sense. And so at the time, I was selling party light candles. So I was hosting parties in people's homes, selling candles. And then I was studying to get my real estate license. And I was selling shoes on eBay. Now hear me out. I love shoes. And what I found was that I would go thrift shopping, or I would go to yard sales, garage sales, and I'd see amazing shoes, but they weren't my size. And so I would get them, clean them up, polish them up, and then I would post them and sell them on eBay. And this was like back in the day, like back, we barely had a digital camera, and I had to like take the picture, plug it in. Nowadays, we have so many more we have so many more advances in technology that it's so easy to do anything on eBay, OfferUp, or whatever else, ThreadUp, all the different ways that you can sell things. So back then, I would go to Goodwill, buy a pair of shoes for $1, clean them up, and then put them on eBay and sell them for a really great profit, even after paying for the postage. And so I would encourage you, start looking around your house, start looking around, and asking yourself the question, is this something I need? And if not, could I sell it? And is that money that I could then use to build up my emergency fund? One of the reasons I joined Keller Williams specifically was because of the profit sharing opportunity, and because when you join Keller Williams, you essentially have 4 different income streams right off the bat. And I won't go into all the details of that right now. That will be stay tuned, because that will be a separate conversation. However, that's a big deal, especially in a 100% commission sales situation. It's important that you've got all of those different income streams working for you. So when I joined, what I found was that people were reading a lot. And one of the first books that was ever recommended to me was by John Maxwell, and it's called Failing Forward. And I've got a list of my favorite books, and I'll drop the link in the comments below. However, a couple of books that stand out right now: Failing Forward by John Maxwell, The Keys to the Vault by Keith Cunningham, and The Miracle Morning. I would say if you have not read those books, those are incredible books. You can Google and look up the Cliff Notes versions online to be able to get the gist of those books and what they cover. And through that, it was that not only did I want to help people buy and sell real estate, I wanted to help people invest in real estate, because right now, watching the stock market, real estate is never going to drop that fast. And if you go about investing in real estate on purpose and following the timeless kind of pattern to how to go about it, investing in real estate is absolutely the way to go. And I believe right now we're going to have just this pent up energy in our pipelines of people who are going to come out the other side of this, one, either wanting to liquidate and sell a lot of real estate depending on their age and their financial situation. 2, we're going to have families that have real conversations with each other, and they look at their circumstances and they go, are we over leveraged? Are we paying too much? Are we house poor, paying too much for a mortgage? And should we downsize to something more manageable for our family if we were to go to a one income family, a one income household? And investing in real estate is something that is obviously a passion of ours. And so stay tuned, because we're going to be hosting the online version of our investors class. It's called Baby Steps to Investing, and how to set yourself up to be able to do that. And so I wanted to just touch base and encourage you and let you know that the lessons that we're all learning right now are ultimately forming our future. And one of the things I am so thankful for are just all of the resources and all of the people that I have found myself surrounded with over the last few days, that are speaking truth, in love, and that are truly encouraging us to be the best versions of ourselves. And, some people might come out of this on the other side, deciding that there are moms out there that are like, you know what, I love this and I want to stay at home. And so I've got to look for other income streams and other opportunities. And so I'd encourage you, if you're interested at all in this, please private message me, and I'll drop the link for my website, where there's a specific video that I recorded, and it's under the Become an Agent page. And it's all about the 4 income streams right off the bat and how you can utilize them to set yourself up. So anyway, I trust that you guys are doing well, that you're staying home, that you are happy and healthy. And I just, the last few days and going through and seeing the winners of our spring gratitude giveaway, it has been like, it just feels good to give. It feels good to give of your time. It feels good to give of your resources. It feels good to be able to give to other people. And so it truly has inspired me and encouraged me just to see how people are getting creative. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see how communities are coming together. I'm excited to see the collaboration, and I'm excited to see the creativity that's going to come from this season together. And, do I have moments of freak out and panic? I have moments of fear. There's definitely times when I'll see something in the news, and I will kind of ponder it for a while, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get my mind on this. I've got to remind myself of where I'm anchored, and that I am guilty. I'm not the best at this, but we were ultimately created to be human beings, not human doings. And so the challenge for me is to be still. And this is a time where we are challenged to be still and to reset. Yes, it's great to do projects. Yes, it's great to clean up and do things. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing purposefully is just being still. Earlier today, my daughter and I watched a movie. I left my phone in the other room so that I could be fully present with her and fully present in watching the movie that we were watching. And so I think it's boundaries. And so if you need to adjust the notifications on your phone to just shut them off. Because I don't know about you, but it's like every single purchase I've ever made, that company has reached out to me and sent me an email. Has anyone gotten those? I mean, right now especially, there isn't going to be anything urgent. And so if you've got to kind of limit your amount of time on TV, limit your amount of time watching the news. Like I've just decided the last few days, actually, I realized I'd gone through at least 2 days of not looking up CNN once. And for me, that was a big deal, because there were just a few days where as things were really kind of unfolding, I was wanting to know what was going on. We need to be in the know. However, we've got to make sure that what we're feeding ourselves is positive. And so anyway, that I'll stop talking now. Angelina says, I used to sell on eBay too. Yes, seriously. I had some crazy profit margins. $1 Goodwill bin shoes, and cleaning up, polishing up, and then selling them on eBay. And I remember back in the day, I'd have to go wait in the line at the post office to ship them. Now things are so much easier. So yeah, eBay is a great opportunity. Oh, Erin, thank you for dropping the links to the books. And hi guys, thanks for joining in. Anyway, there's my take on navigating uncertainty and financial hardship. Some of the most important lessons that we're ever going to learn are going to come from struggle. They're going to come from those uncomfortable moments that we're in right now. And that's okay, because I want to grow. I want to grow, and I truly do want to. I want to be a light. I want to be an inspiration, and I want to be an influence of positivity in others' lives. And so, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk soon.